All right, we're back, and we got the microphone, and I love what I did last time with Iron Gold, so we're gonna do it again because I just finished up Dark Age by Pierce Brown, and my God, like, holy crap, that was bleak. Like that was so bleak. But before I actually get into the big review, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon because we're almost done. We are almost done with Pierce Brown's Red Rising saga. Well, almost finished. We still got Red God, but you never know. Maybe it'll be more than 2 books. Maybe he'll cancel it and Lightbringer will be the end. But yeah, I want to talk about Dark Age with you guys because this was, like I said, it was bleak. Very, 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 very bleak. Like, it was so bleak, and usually in, like, a lot of grimdark stories, there'll be, like, a lot of, like, humor or lighthearted moments. Dark Age, there's none. Like, it's really, really dark. And that's why it's in a dark room today, because we're talking about grimdark. But I want to start off with, the good of this, because it is very, like, this has probably my favorite depiction of warfare that I've ever seen in my life. And this mostly just applies to the entirety of, like, Red Rising as a whole. But in this book specifically, he doesn't portray war as, like, one side or the other. Like I've mentioned, war is often portrayed in ways where it's either super action-packed or a horror film. This, like, does the perfect blend of both, where it's messed up, it's horrific, but a lot of the things that you see, there are still awesome. Like I'm gonna try not to get spoilers because I want people to read this, but the opening few chapters, it goes from one character to another, and it does that for like 20 chapters. And the battle itself is just awesome. And even though one side ends up winning, that win doesn't feel like a win. Like, you just sacrificed a whole lot of troops for what is essentially a loss in your mind, even though you won. Another thing I want to point out with this is, like, there's a prison break plot line in this, and I felt it was the peak of Red Rising here, because the civilian plot line in these next, like, few trilogies, this sequel trilogy, I should say, to me is, like, Pierce Brown's best writing, because the portrayal of war is one thing, but to see it from a civilian's perspective, see it from our perspective, really opens your eyes to something. Like, my grandfather's a war veteran, and he's got years of experience, and even he says, like, Match was the most accurate. I feel like if he read Dark Age, it would be more accurate. Another thing I want to talk about with this book is, it's like, I've mentioned before that it's bleak. It can be too bleak at sometimes. Like, in a lot of grimdark, you gotta have some humor, lighthearted. You don't need to, like, tone down the brutality, but you have to have some lighthearted moments, because there's nothing here. It's just like Dark Age itself. It's a Dark Age. But yeah, I would have loved some, like, humor in Darrow's plotline. I would have loved that, but we don't get that. Or even Lysander messing up a few times. I would have loved to see that, both as a hater and a lover of the book. The thing I gotta say about this, I don't usually, like, have to take breathers in between books. I had to take 3. I had to take 3 breathers in Dark Age, because there's a chapter, I think it's chapter 24. It will change you. It will physically change the way that you see things from now on, because it is so torturous. It's a torture scene, by the way. So torturous. And there's another scene that I feel like the fans know already, but it's I'm going to get into spoilers because I feel like people should know this. So I'll put these two fingers up to know when the spoilers are done, but there is a dead baby that is pinned to a tree, and this happens within like 3 chapters. As in, the baby is born in chapter 61, I believe, and he's like pinned to the wall in chapter 63. Spoilers done. But yeah, I had to take a breather there because, oh my god. Oh my god. Who hurt you, Pierce? Are you okay? But another thing I want to say about this that I loved is Virginia's plotline. Like, I believe that in the first, it was fine. Like, you have the hero of the rebellion, you have a civilian, and then you have a frontline soldier, and then you have whatever Ephraim is doing. But here it's nice to see a good perspective from the politics side of it, because there's politics into every single war. And the fact that we didn't really get a lot of that in the old trilogy, and neither Dark Age, we're getting it here. It's really, really, really good. It's very Song of Ice and Fire, which is on my TBR, actually. It's on my shelf up there. But yeah, I think another thing that I personally like, I don't know if I'd say I hated, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending. The ending was very similar. Like, the last part was similar to the first part, where it just jumps from one character to another, but there's some like other POV characters spliced in there to flesh out the story and such. But I feel like there's not that sense of dread that I got from Golden Sun. Like, at the end of Golden Sun, I was like dreadful. Here, I'm still dreadful, but it doesn't like hit the same as it did in Golden Sun. But those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got to say about this book. Amazing book. I will say this: if you're not used to grimdark, be prepared. Like, be prepared. Find a Terry Pratchett book or something to read after this, because it's dark. I'm used to grimdark. This was dark for me. So I'm gonna be honest, I have to take a breather, like maybe a week before I read Lightbringer, because I know Lightbringer is gonna be darker, I should say, and it's gonna hurt. But yeah, I love Dark Age. I hated how much I hated my time reading this. That's the best way I could say it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe. And you know what next week's review is going to be? Or next review, I should say. Lightbringer by Pierce Brown. The last book in the Red Rising saga. And I got a little surprise for what's next, because I'm going to take another breather after Lightbringer and start a new series, not grimdark, one I'm personally excited to read.